Today we're getting creative. I'm going to be showing you some key formatting tips to create stylish and engaging slides. Let's get started. So when you first open up Keynote or PowerPoint, this is what you're presented with, a blank screen. And I think this is what intimidates people sometimes when they're going to prepare slides. You have this blank screen that you can do anything with, and suddenly you're stuck for ideas. I mean, where do you start? But the key really is in preparation, and you need to think about this before you even start getting creative. You need to prepare for a presentation just as you would do a blog. So what you need to do is you need to sit down with your notebook or a piece of paper, and you need to sketch the outline of what you're going to be covering in your presentation. What's going to be your key message and how are you going to deliver it? And what's your desired outcome? Once you've sketched your outline, you need to think about a really compelling title, just as you would do a blog post. There's nothing different here. After that, you need to reduce and reduce and reduce your story, much as you would do a sauce in cooking, for example, until you get to the key points. And those key points you're going to make into like subheadings. After that, you need to work out how you're going to create your call to action. And this is something I'll be going through in a later tutorial. So you need to have a call to action and you need to work out your lead magnet. So once you've got that in mind, you can start thinking about the creative aspect of your presentation. The main thing I'd recommend you do or don't do is cram your slides with information. Less is definitely more on SlideShare. Don't be afraid of white space. It'll give your presentation a really clean and fresh feel. Remember those key points that you sketched out? You want to have one key point per slide. So don't do this. Do not do this. Don't put too much text on your slides. If you do, you'll send everybody to sleep. And stop the bullet points. Bullet points are boring. You'll do that again. If you really, really need to make a list, use bullet points like this. And the reason being, if you set out your bullet points like this to start with, your readers will read ahead of you quicker than you can talk about those bullet points. And they'll become bored again. And they'll switch off, and you've lost your audience. So introduce each point separately as they come up. Next, you need to think about what images you're going to use. You need to mix up images with text on the slides. Think about how you can combine beautiful images that are really going to resonate with your audience with a stunning typeface. And also you need to choose images which have a natural space where you can place your text. If you're not sure how to format text with images, don't worry, I'll be going through this in another tutorial a bit later. And just so you know what not to do, here's an example of a really, really badly formatted slide. It's cluttered, it's unclear, the writing is terrible, there's too much going on, it's just terrible. How about size? What size slides do you use? Obviously, if you're using Keynote and PowerPoint to prepare your slides, you don't even need to consider what size they need to be because they're already pre-formatted in the correct size. But if you're using different graphic apps or tools, you need to make sure that they have these correct proportions. People tend to zone out really, really quickly. We have an attention span of about 7 seconds, which is so shocking. So all the tips I mentioned above, such as using images, not using bullet points if you can possibly help it, condensing your key messages to just one key point per slide, all help to keep your audience engaged and to hold their concentration. Mix things up a little bit. Make sure your slides don't become repetitive and boring. So you think you're done? Hang on a second. Don't forget, when you save your presentation to your local files, make sure you use 1 or 2 keywords in the file name. We covered this in tutorial number 1, but don't worry, if you missed it, just click here and you can go back and review it. So those are your key formatting tips, which will make your slides really stylish and engaging. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, just hit the like button, tell your friends about the tutorials, and I'll see you next tutorial when we'll be taking an even deeper dive into colour and typeface. And it's just so interesting. I'll see you then. Bye.